Oh, there you are, YouTube. We're going to do a random ranking. I'm going to go to my movie collection. I'm going to pick out 3 movies at random, and then we're going to rank them based on a variety of criteria. I don't know. I guess that criteria will come up as we go along. Sometimes I try and list it beforehand, and I always forget something. And sometimes the criteria I am listing is not pertinent to the films that we pull out. Eyes closed. I don't know what I'm grabbing here. All right, I'm gonna do one from over here because I always neglect this area, so bear with me while I get up. Reaching deep into this crevice over here. Really need to reorganize back there. Things are getting a little chaotic. Okay, all right, this is fun. All right, okay, I like these. These are good. First one, Cedar Rapids. I feel like this movie is highly underrated, and I think more people should see it. It is pretty great. No, I'll get to it now. The weak point, oddly, is Sigourney Weaver, because she is the icon. She is the veteran. She is, you know, the the person we all love so much. But for some reason in this movie, her role feels like a cameo, and it probably is a cameo. But I don't. Maybe like Working Girl. I don't know, or I don't know like what they're trying to do with this cameo. But it doesn't feel like a real performance. It feels like, hey, I'm Sigourney Weaver, and I'm here for you to recognize me. So that would be like the one weak link of the movie. But this movie has a terrible cover. I hate this cover right here. I think they're going for like a 40-year-old virgin sort of thing. And, Michael Scott and Andy Bernard here, The Office. But I don't know. I just think this movie is a lot of fun and like depressing and hopeful, and has some like morbid dark humor in it, but and just like offensive humor, but done in a way that isn't offensive. It's like, understanding that it's offensive, that sort of thing. And I'm really into this movie. Who does that mean it's going to be ranked number one? I don't know, because we also have Collateral. This movie is off the charts. Michael Mann made this. We have some an Oscar nominee here with Jamie Foxx for this film. I would have been totally cool with, I don't know, I have to see the other nominees, but Tom Cruise, I think this would have been a good nominee for him too. First time we've seen him with gray hair. I mean, he probably has gray hair in real life at this point, but I believe it was dyed for this role. But that was really cool. This was a fun action film. I really liked this. I loved the look of it. I don't know what Michael Mann had his cinematographer doing, but this movie has just like such a great like digital grain to it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I do love this movie, and now that I'm holding it, I wish it wasn't so late, because I would like to just start watching it right now. It's been a while. This movie is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And then this is Spinal Tap. Classic, hilarious. Anytime somebody says, turn it up to 11, we're all quoting this. Sort of like a parody off of that documentary that I can't remember the title of. That's like actually about like hair metal and stuff like that. And yeah, right, yeah, that came out first, right? Or was it like this came out and then it was like the real thing? That would have been weird if it happened that way. I doubt it. I believe, I haven't done the history, but I've always assumed this was a parody of that documentary. Yeah, it has to be. But yeah, I mean, mockumentaries, I don't know if that's the term people like to use, but um, one of those. And I really like Christopher Guest films, some of them anyway. I guess I don't like them all, but Mighty Wind is good. For Your Consideration, is that what that one's called? I think is my favorite. Waiting for Guffman is good. Best in Show. I mean, those types of movies I think are a lot of fun, and this one's really good too. I just don't necessarily heavily connect to this movie, other than it's like I don't know. I don't know why. Like, I like it, but I feel like everybody loves it. And I'm just like, yeah, I like that movie. And I don't, I feel like, I don't know. Am the Princess Bride is on my mind, obviously, directors, but like that's another movie where it's like everybody's in love with, and it just like, I'm just like, yeah, it's a good movie. I was late. Well, I wasn't late. I guess I wasn't late to that movie. That movie sort of like skipped over my house, as in I didn't understand that it was had a huge cultural impact. Like I saw it when I was a kid, but to me it was just a cool movie that had Andre the Giant in it. But then when I like got to college, it was like that was everybody's favorite movie, and I was like, really? I didn't realize that movie was so big. Anyway, we're talking about Spinal Tap. Yeah, I like this movie, but I feel like I am maybe not loving it as much as the rest of the world is my thing here. So I don't know, maybe I just gave everything away. Because we might have just placed these in the order in which I showed them to you. Because, I don't know. Like, okay, here's the thing. My connection to this one is weaker. I like this movie. It is funny. But it's a weaker connection, I think, because I just don't... I don't know. When I compare myself to other fans of it, it's clear that I don't love it as much as the other people do. I guess that's all I can say. When I compare myself to other fans, it's like, oh, okay, I'm not a very big fan of it. I'm not as passionate about this movie as other people are. So there we are. That's my thing. I'm not very passionate about this movie, even though I like it. So I'm going to say this is number 3. And then I think this movie is better than this movie, but I enjoy this movie more. I put this in quite a bit as like a background movie when I'm painting or making art, or I don't know, just doing various things. I like having this movie on in the background quite a bit. And I like again, Sigourney Weaver I think is the only weak link, but maybe she was asked to play it that way, like as a cameo, like sort of aware that she is Sigourney Weaver. Or maybe it's just she's such a titan when compared to everybody else that it's hard not to see just Sigourney Weaver, you know? So that's like my complaint, but everything else about this movie I really enjoy. So enjoyment is trumping best, because I think this movie is better than this movie, but this movie has enjoyment factor for me, and I watch it over and over. It has that rewatchability factor, has all sorts of factors to it. More comedy. I mean, this one's pretty funny. You know, when watching his anxiety like amp up throughout, you know, it's kind of funny. But I think this is our ranking right here. And I really want people to see this movie. I feel like everybody's already seen this movie and they love it more than I do. Again, I'm not slamming this movie, you know, like it's bad or anything. This is good. Spinal Tap is good. I just have, over the years, realized my passion for it isn't a passion. It's just I like it. But here we go. This is our ranking. Cedar Rapids, Collateral, and this is Spinal Tap. Have you seen these movies? And if so, what do you think of them? And if you've seen all 3 of them, how would you rank them? I can't imagine too many people would rank them the same way I do, because I just feel like there are a lot of fans out there, super fans of Spinal Tap. I feel like everyone is a super fan of Spinal Tap. So, I don't know. I'm curious. Does anybody else, that's what I'm curious about, does anybody else have Spinal Tap as number 3 out of these movies? I would be very curious to know. But otherwise, perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more pure Hangout.